boys, Fox here, and we're gonna talk about the new spec from Boomy in RPGs and the difference and the nerfs that were like come out yesterday, and the new spec in Hero Talents from Elune Chosen to Keeper of the Grove. I already were playing this build before, but yesterday we got nerf into the Starfire. In this case, in 2 talents for Starfire. If you guys noted in PvP, you can see on WoWed or on the blue tracker. And if you go in PvP and the talents like Lunar Calling and Umbral Embrace, if you guys don't know, Umbral Embrace is this one over here. So the talent was giving us 75% additional damage, and now it's going to give us 40% additional damage on Starfire. That is like a big chunk of damage that we lose on Starfire. So before we were running Elune Chosen with Lunar Sculling. That was another one that got nerfed, right? Lunar Sculling got nerfed from 65 to 50, and Umbral Embrace got nerfed from 75 to 40%. Before we were running Elune Chosen with Lunar Sculling, because we could do like 2 million in Starfire, and you literally could spam Starfire and doing like single target and AoE damage with Starfire. After the nerf of yesterday, the best build for node maps and for node maps and teamfight maps like Battle of Gilneas is the node map as well, and Aratibaz is the node map. Silver Shand, the Mind map, like a more teamfight objective map. But the best build that you could run is going to be with Keeper of the Grove and Trance, and I'm going to explain why you should run with Force of Nature and Keeper of the Grove. Of course, that the Elune Chosen will still be the priority in the flag maps, in the flag area maps, because of the single target, right? Elune Chosen still do more damage single target with Starfire than Keeper of the Grove. And you in Elune Chosen you don't run Force of Nature, you run Warrior of Elune, and it's still the same thing. You just pop up the cooldowns, pop up Starfire, refresh with the Star Surge or refresh with Starfall. In this case, normally in Fate of Battlegrounds you go Starfall, but you can as well use Star Surge to single target damage. I can show the rotation in Elune Chosen on what we were doing before. So it's pretty simple. You just open. You just full open. In this case I was using mushrooms, but you don't need to. Remember to use always the Moonfire and the Sunfire, because Moonfire gives you the single target damage on Starfire. And this mostly was the rotation, right? But now we're gonna trade in Keeper of the Grove. I have another video on my channel, on my YouTube, that you guys can see me play like Keeper of the Grove and doing 2.3 million damage, almost 2.4 million damage in Eye of the Storm. Okay, you guys can see me doing like 2.3 to 2.4 million damage in Eye of the Storm stacking. The rotation with Keeper of the Grove is a little bit different, because you will need your trends, of course. But it's not about the trends, it's about the buff of the trends, okay? If you guys open your talents, you can realize Dream Surge. Force of Nature grants 4 charge of Dream Burst, causing your next Wrath or Starfire to explode on the target, dealing 224,000 nature damage. To nearby enemies, damage reduced above 5 targets, okay? So basically, every time you pop your trees, they will give you a buff that is named Dream Surge, and the Dream Surge, every time you cast a Starfire, it will do like AoE damage as a nature damage. So it's not about the trends, it's not about the damage of the trends, but it's about the damage of the buff that the trends give it to you. Another, like most of the targets are like pretty single choosing, right? You can choose like Power of Nature that give you like 200% more increased damage melee, not castle, melee. Or you can go for HP of the trends. Basically, it's trends focused. And you can use Grove Inspiration that give you Starfire 10% damage. So instead of losing completely the 30 30% damage on Umbral Embers, you just lose 20% because you can get like 10% more from Grove Inspiration. Or you can go for Potent Enchantment that give you like a duration of the Chosen of Elune. I'm using Grove Inspiration because we do use a lot of Starfire. Okay, when we burst with Trance, we do use a lot of Starfire in order to do AoE damage. Okay, we do use it. Another talent that I was reading pretty closely, and for me is a better, I don't know, it's a personal choose, so I can have more times the go. Okay. Force of Nature, early springs, Force of Nature cooldown, reduced it by 15 seconds. So your trends, let me change. Sorry, let me apply. Your trends got 15 seconds cooldown reduce with early springs. This gives you more goes during one RPG. During one RPG, you have more times that you can burst the enemy team. Okay, you can go with the astral power, but you will get, in this case we are 45 seconds, as you guys saw, 45 seconds cooldown. If you don't use early spring, it's going to be 1 minute. Okay, so I find more useful getting 15 seconds out of my trends than 10 astral power bonus. This is pretty simple. Force of Nature grant additional stack of Dream Burst. This is how supposed to be. So instead of like 4, you're gonna have 5 charges, and this is no way to choose, right? So in RPGs, you want to focus. Another thing that I'm forgetting about. Another thing, we did got nerf in Starfire, but we got buff in Starfall. Okay, we did got nerf in Starfire, but we got buff in Starfall and Star Surge. Starfall damage increased by 20%. Star Surge damage increased by 12%. Now I don't know, and they don't specify as well, if this Starfall damage is up to PvP as well or just to PvE. The Star Surge damage, it is buff on PvP because I already try out. And Star Surge was doing like 200k, now it's doing like 300 something without crit. So for sure it's already up, okay? I was discussing yesterday with a very known Boomy, right? Like probably one of the best Boomies in the bracket in RPGs. I was discussing with Lurtex about this build, and he agrees with me that Keepers of the Grove gonna be the build out of Flag Carrier map. And in Flag Carrier's map, you just use Elune Chosen because you want to focus the Flag Carrier. Otherwise, you're gonna use Keeper of the Grove. Okay? Because of the burst, it's more complicated to play, right? Why? Because you need like, it's not complicated to do the rotation, it's complicated to make the decision when you should use your trees. Because you want to take the most advantage, min-max, the most damage that you can from your trees, from the dream burst. And in order for you to do to take the most advantage from the dream burst, the enemy team needs to be slightly stacked. Okay? You can say I can show the rotation, but let's finish the talents. Like pretty normal talents that everyone is using. As I do Astral Smolder, but I don't use Stellar Amplification. And normally, the only 2 talents that I could, I don't know, you could like argue with me, like or argue in this build, is about using Wild Mushrooms or not, and using like Balance of All Things instead of Wild Mushrooms. Okay. Or even go for the Ethereal Kindling, that is extend your Moonfire and your Solar, your Moonfire and your Sunfire every time you refresh Starfall. Okay, so like Ethereal Kindling and Balance of All Things and Wild Mushrooms, I guess is a choice. I do use more Wild of Mushrooms because I want to make them slow. Okay? When I say I want to make them slow, I want every time that I use a Wild Mushroom and it explodes, you give them the debuff, right? 50% reduced damage. So if they're like 3 players, I can Starfire one and it will do like the AoE damage among the others. That's why I do use the wild mushrooms. It's not a must. If you want to play with the ethereal kindling, or you want to play with balance of all things, go forward. I see other people using as well the Star Weaver instead of using the Headlet Stars. Star Weaver is most that give you like a Starfall for free, but I do prefer getting like the arcane damage on Star Surge and Starfall, and reduce the cost for 10%. Is as well a choice on the gameplay. Mostly this is the build that you want to run in every single map, aside of the Flak Areas map, Warsong Lodge and Twin Peaks. That is going to be the two ones, right? Okay, let's talk about PvP talents. Moonkin Aura is a must. We all know why. I'm using Thorns, but you can use other type of talents. You can go Oaking Adap. You can go Starburst for more damage. I'm using Thorns right now because in every single battleground that I'm playing, normally I always have like a melee or two melees on me, and I need to escape, right? In this case, I cannot go form, but I need to escape. And every time I try to escape, imagine that it's a rogue or warrior, I barely can escape. So if you pop like thorns on yourself, if every time they eat you, they're gonna get 50% slow, right? Attackers also have their movement speed reduced by 50% for 4 seconds. That's why I'm using thorns for battlegrounds, okay? I do believe in Blitz that this is going to be a must as well. Because you're gonna have a lot of situations that you're gonna do 1 against 1 in order to cap a base. And as a Boomy, you need to be far away. Like, imagine that you are fighting a warrior. A Fury warrior is a lot of damage. Imagine that you are fighting a rogue, it's a lot of damage. You need to peel off in order to do damage and to try to win the fight, okay? In terms of rotation, it's pretty simple. It's the same thing. We open with Moonfire, Sunfire. Now, instead of opening with the burst, we open with the trees, and now we open with the burst, okay? Remember, you don't have what is the loon. Spam Starfall, and we go again, okay? You see the Dream Burst? Okay, let me show you. Dream Burst, 6.89 million. This is the opener that you want to do as you are playing like Eye of the Storms in the middle. I do have a video on the channel as well. Go see the opener. Go see what how did I did in Eye of the Storm. But the idea is always opener first with Moonfire and Sunfire, so we can get the extra damage. Open with the trees, okay? And if you have this, try to go Lunar. Okay, you go Lunar, and now you open with a burst. That's the idea. Remember, I'm using wild mushrooms so they cannot go away, they cannot spread, so I can take advantage of the most damage that I can do. Okay, if you have mass entanglement, of course. Normally, I use my binds, my macro, that is like the root plus the beam to a healer. So if I'm eating this guy over here, this is the tank or whatever it is, I just like in the battleground enemies, I select the healer and I stop him there and I continue to do damage. Okay. Other things that are important as a Boomy in different type of maps. So in Blitz, you need to play more by yourself to cap. Like imagine that you are playing nodes, you need to play more by yourself. So you need to cap more, you need to be more objective wise. Every time that you are in a fight, in Blitz, not in Battlegrounds right now, in Blitz, when the season starts, every time we are in the let me see, Silver Shand Mines is the name, I guess. Every time you are in a map that is like Gilneas or mines, and you need like really really like AoE damage and really like a strong damage, output damage to win the fight, you always should go to the healer, okay? Never go for tanks, never go for like DKs or whatever. Always try to go for healers. Always try to keep like, take the healers out of the fight so you can wipe them and win the team fight. And normally what happens in every single map that I play is every time the healer die, it's like a domino. every single one of the other players will die as well. Okay, so just if you cannot engage, if you know that you are like getting too focused because you are playing Boomy and it's normally to get focused as a Boomy, nothing will change. They will always gonna focus you. So if you know that you are getting focused, just like enter in stealth, try to go around, try to focus the healer, then open with trends on healer, open with a keybind and burst him down, and you know what I mean? If you have the other healer there, silence him. Always start surge. Remember to use start surge when you are single target and not AoE. Always try to position yourself the best way in order to kill the healer. Because if after killer the one of the healers, if your team is like decent, doesn't need to be good, just need to be decent. Eventually you will win the team fight. Okay? Eventually you will win the team fight. Again, let's recap and see the talents again, okay? In the left side is the Druid. You can play without Vigor and go for more speed, is normally what I do. I don't go for Innervate, I always play with Typhoon and Lord of the Grove. It's important to have the O skin, important to have Well Wounded and Art of the Wild because of survivability again. And it's pretty straightforward. It's nothing new, nothing crazy. We didn't take any talent out or put in any talent new. Keeper of the Grove is all about the trends. Okay, boys, it's all about the trends. And in this side over here, you really need to abuse the Starfall. We get 20% increase damage on Starfall. We really need to abuse it. Okay. Every time that you got like a new update, I will bring like news about Druid. Okay. I will try to do guides. I know like probably it's not the best guide or I don't explain myself the best way. If you guys have any improvement that I should do, drop the comment in the chat. I really will appreciate that. And I will try to keep like the community posted about any change in Boomy. And yeah, try to bring you guys the best builds that I could do. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, and I see you guys in the next one. Peace.